Hey everyone, this is a step-by-step guide on the best way to create your AI prompt for your agents. So we're gonna still leave these instructions in the documentation if you need to access it for any reason. But yeah, the idea is for us to go over each of the different steps to see what it does and how it's going to affect the prompt and the final iteration of your prompt for your agent. So it all starts with you just describing the use case that you're going for. So going for a purpose, ideally with a hashtag at the beginning, so that the AI can identify that it's a block of information. So you can just go with a brief description on why you're building this assistant and what its main function is going to be. It should explain, of course, the objective, what you are expecting to impact, and the value that it's providing you. The more you give, the more it's going to have positive results. Uh, Going then to the persona section, the idea is for the agent to identify itself just so it knows what its name is. So when people ask them questions, they know how to answer back, um, what its role is, and what the company is, what the tone is going to be like. You can distribute that in different variables. Um, and that's where we're gonna just go with a slight jump. And as you see, all of these brackets right here are going to take the information for variables. And what are variables? Basically, it's values that can change depending on inputs that you want. If for whatever reason you want to have your agent to have a variable name, you can go ahead and change that. But if you already have a static name for your agent, so maybe your agent is called Mike and you don't need it to vary, that's pretty standard. Same for the role. If you know that Mike is a sales rep at a company that you don't want to vary, you can just go and leave those values set from the beginning. Um, we've got a section at the end called dynamic variables, where you define what each one of those variables is going to be. So if for whatever reason any of those variables is not actually going to be a variable and it's just going to be a static value, it's better just to leave it like that so that you don't have to parse more information that it should. Going to the next section, to the objective section, the idea is for you to give the context on what the agent is going to do, right? So what is your purpose and what key results you're looking for in this automation prompt. And the context section ideally is going to give you the chance to inform the agent on all of the information that it should know to answer particular questions that a lead or a client can ask them. So it's contextualizing the situation of the company, but also giving it all of the information. So for whatever reason, um, the conversation is just going a little bit off topic, you can just um, give the all of the information that should be available for the agent just to not go off script and answer things that you don't want them to answer. Which would then go to the important notes. So it's really important to have an important notes section just to give a little bit of a broader context to the agent, so that nothing goes over their head, right? So we've got an example here. So maintaining consistency in the selection language, ensuring the prompt is written in a single language, uh, adapt the tone according to the target market, ensure all variables are documented. And 1 second. And we're back. Just did a small adjustment. So after the context, it's better for us to have a constraint section. I still left the important notes at the end, just for you to be able to go through it. But yeah, the idea is for us to have a constraint section that has all of the different constraints or limiting that you want to add to your agent to make sure that they don't really go off topic, or if they shouldn't say something in particular. This is very important for just the whole behavior and whole context that the agent is going to provide. So anything you want to limit the agent with, it's important to have it there. We've actually seen that adding the constraint section at the beginning, so just after the context, is better than to have it after the conversation flow, because it gives the agent the chance just to contextualize itself before it just goes over the whole flow of the conversation. So next we've got the conversation flow, which it's ideally you separate it by sections, just giving a context and separating each action then that the agent should be doing with some well starting of the lines. And if you want the agent to say something textually, you can just go ahead and add some air quotes there. Um, anything you don't want the agent to say, just go ahead and add it without without any air quotes, just to make sure that everything goes according to what you're expecting. It's really important to know that there are two ways or where you can uh, define that conversation flow. The first one is just going textually with what the agent should be saying. But the other way you can go ahead and do this is just by telling the agent what to do. So ask the lead some questions to uh, get to know where they live. This is also valid, but the results here are a lot more variable, of course, because, well, if you provide uh, a defined script, the agent is going to tend to stick to that script and just go with that same flow of conversation. But if you just ask it to do something a little bit more loosely, the agent may tend to improvise a little bit more just to gather that information that you're looking for. Yeah, it's two ways you can go ahead with that. And well, once you've got the end of the conversational flow, uh, we've got a variable section. So the idea is just to have a template section where you've got those template variables and the dynamic variables, which are just the variables that um, are values that can change inside of the conversation depending on who you're contacting, the information you've got available for them. So everything should be with some brackets, between brackets, and it's better just to add some context here in the dynamic variable section just for the the agent just to have that full context and know that uh, some things are just referring to variable. Here are some formatting rules, which is mainly just so that you can organize yourselves better. Ideally, just to keep a better standardization of the whole process. And finally, going back to the important notes, this is more of some ground rules on how to manage the whole prompt, just so that you don't go ahead and use multiple languages when you're creating the prompt. So maybe you've got some sections describing in English and then saying some things in Spanish. It can just tend to confuse the agent. And just go with the tone that you're looking for, making sure that every variable is set so that the agent knows what you're trying to document. Uh, not including technical instructions inside of the dialog line. So not saying like wait for a confirmation or whatever, because that will confuse the agent and maybe make it say something that you don't want it to say. Yeah, structuring the dialogue naturally, going with clear decision trees. So knowing what steps should follow which, depending on the different user responses, is also key. And just going with the specification of the different paths clearly, so the agent doesn't get confused. And just go ahead with natural language when you want to transition from one section or one uh, part of the conversation to the next. And yeah, keep the focus on the actual spoken language. So yeah, this was a little bit longer than expected, but I hope this helped you. And if you've got any questions, please just reach out to us. We'll be happy to help.